Right friends, welcome back to questions and answers for 32nd week. The first question, Organ Donation Day was observed on August 13 and there is one organization, that is National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization. This is under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, which looks at organ donation and tissue transplantation. And please don't forget tissues such as cornea, heart valves, skin and bone can be donated in case of natural death, but in case of brain death, vital organs like liver, kidneys, intestines, lungs, pancreas, heart can be donated. So this is most important point. Look into the next one. In India, commodity futures markets are regulated by Securities and Exchange Board of India. The capital market regulator, that is the SEBI, also regulates commodity futures markets. That is one important point. And there are exchanges which looks at commodity futures. I have given two examples, MCX, then NCDEX. These are commodity exchanges which looks at commodity futures market. Regulator is SEBI. And if you want what are commodities, please look into this slide. These are commodities. They may be agricultural commodities, non-agricultural commodities, precious metals. These are all commodities, and futures trading takes place in all these commodities. And this commodities futures market is basically to look at the hedging of price risk, taking the positions with regard to the future prices. That is mainly done through commodities futures market. And one way, it is the platform for price discovery as well as hedging price risk. And some critics say that it is partially responsible for food price inflation in this country, right? So if someone talks about the commodity futures market, it is platform for hedging price risk, right? Look into the next one. 11th G20 Summit. This is going to be held in China, that is Hangzhou, a place in China, on September 4th and 5th. And at the same time, two more summits are going to be held this year. Please don't forget, 8th BRICS Summit is going to be held in Goa in October. Then 19th SAARC Summit is going to be held in Islamabad, Pakistan in November. So these things please don't forget, because they are going to be held in the next 3-4 months. FATCA is the act pertaining to United States of America. Please don't forget. This is a Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. And please don't forget, US is probably only developed country in the world that imposes citizenship-based taxes. The taxes are based on the citizenship in United States of America. Therefore, American entities anywhere in the world are normally required to file US tax returns regardless of their residence or regardless of their source of country of income. So, American citizens, wherever they are in the world, have to file US tax returns. And to prevent evasion of taxes, this Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act was devised by United States of America, and India also signed this Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. Look into the next one. Wildlife Institute of India. You may ask, where is Wildlife Institute of India? This is a Dehradun based autonomous organization under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And recently WII stated that shifting of about 40 lions was delayed to Palpur Kuno Sanctuary from Gir Sanctuary in Gujarat. And Gir Sanctuary, that is famous for Asiatic lions. Sometime back, Supreme Court ordered shifting of lions to Palpur Kuno Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh so as to create second habitation for Asiatic lion. But whatever the reason, till date the shifting could not take place. There is a stiff resistance from Gujarat for shifting these Asiatic lions to Palpur Kuno Sanctuary. And if someone talks about the Palpur Kuno Sanctuary, this is in Madhya Pradesh, and nearby Rajasthan there is another sanctuary, that is Ranthambore Sanctuary. And please don't forget, recently 19-year-old tigress, that is Machli, died because of old age in Ranthambore Tiger Reserve. Please don't forget. And shifting of 40 Asiatic lions from Gir National Park in Gujarat to Kuno Wildlife Sanctuary in Madhya Pradesh is getting delayed. There is a stiff resistance from Gujarat. Look into the next one. At present, Reserve Bank of India's monetary policy takes place once in 2 months, please don't forget. And from now onwards, Monetary Policy Committee will have 6 members. That is also very important. United Nations General Assembly proclaimed 2016-2025 as the decade of action on nutrition. Because of malnutrition, several children are suffering. And in several countries, almost 30 to 40% children are affected by malnutrition. Under these circumstances, United Nations General Assembly proclaimed 2016-2025 as the decade of action on nutrition. This is very important. And so as to take care of nutritional needs of children up to 6 years of age, along with the pregnant women, this ICDS was brought in 1975. And the nodal authority for ICDS is Ministry of Women and Child Development. Right? Still the problem of malnutrition persists in our country also, in spite of the starting of the program ICDS in 1975. Name the country which approved a military-backed constitution in a referendum. The country we are talking about is Thailand. Thailand is ruled by military junta since 2014. And on one side, please look into this slide, there are 2 adjacent countries. One is Myanmar, the other one is Thailand. In Myanmar, recently democratically elected government came to power led by Aung San Suu Kyi as a state councillor of Myanmar. And if you look at the adjacent country Thailand, there recently the military framed constitution was adopted in a referendum, and the details were also not properly made known to the public, and this was made in a hurry as per the news reports. Look into the next one. Number of members in Monetary Policy Committee are 6. 3 from Reserve Bank of India, 3 external members. If there is a tie, casting vote is by Reserve Bank of India Governor. Then inflation target recently government fixed, that is 4% plus or minus 2% applicable till March 2021. If the inflation is not within this range for 3 consecutive quarters, then it is considered as a failure of monetary policy. Please don't forget. Airam Sharmila ended her 16-year fast. She belongs to Manipur. She was fed through nasal tube for around 16 years from Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Medical Sciences in Imphal, and she was protesting against Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958. Another important aspect is she was kept in hospital for 1 year with nasal feeding, and at the same time released after every 1 year and again rearrested. This is because of the clause as per Indian Penal Code 309, the maximum jail term for attempt to suicide is 1 year. Because of this clause of IPC 309, she was rearrested after each and every year during the past 16 years. As IPC 309 says, the maximum punishment is 1 year for attempt to suicide. Look into the next one. Deepa Karmakar. She became the first Indian gymnast to enter the Olympics final, and she is from Tripura. Please don't forget. and she reached the finals of individual vault of artistic gymnastics. And she is from Tripura. And Sakshi Malik, who got the bronze medal, belongs to Haryana, and PV Sindhu belongs to Hyderabad. Please don't forget. Centre proposed amendments to the labour laws to hire workers on a fixed term contract. This fixed term contract we will deliberate in news capsule, and this fixed term contract is going to be introduced in textile sector. That means textile jobs are seasonal in nature. So as to hire people as and when required, central government wants amendments to the labour laws. And this is with the special reference to textile sector. If someone talks about a fixed term contract, that is with reference to textile sector, because textile jobs are seasonal in nature. Please don't forget. India's Sherpa to G20. You may ask a pertinent question. What is meant by Sherpa? Sherpa is the civil servant or the diplomat who undertakes preparatory work on behalf of the Prime Minister or President before summit conference. The Prime Minister is going to attend Hangzhou Summit, which is going to be held on September 4 and 5, that is 11th G20 Summit. And before summit meeting, someone on behalf of the Prime Minister will look at preparatory work. He is known as a Sherpa. So, Sherpa for G20 is Arvind Panagadia, that is the Vice Chairman of Niti Aayog. Please don't forget. And 11th G20 Summit is going to be held in Hangzhou, China on September 4th and 5th. And at the same time, please don't forget, we are facing a problem with China as far as the trade deficit is concerned. Our imports from China are $62 billion, whereas our exports are just $9 billion. This is a worrying point as far as export-import front is concerned with China. Please don't forget. TKV Desikachar, famous yoga expert, died recently at the age of 78, and he was the son of legendary yoga master T. Krishnamacharya. Pooling of funds under any schemes or arrangement having an investment corpus of rupees 100 crore or more comes under the regulatory purview of Securities and Exchange Board of India or SEBI. So, collective investment schemes with an investment corpus of rupees 100 crore or more comes under the regulatory purview of SEBI. This is as per Security Laws Amendment Act 2014. Please don't forget. The idea of helicopter money. You may ask what is meant by helicopter money. Helicopter money is printing more currency to monetize debt of the countries. That means if a country has got a debt of $100 billion, the debt will be reduced by printing currency to some extent. So, printing of currency to monetize debt, or you can say to reduce debt burden, is known as helicopter money. So, recently some countries are talking about helicopter money so as to give boost to growth. So, the idea of helicopter money was the first time mooted by Milton Friedman, the famous economist from United States of America who got Nobel Prize, coined this word in 1969 in his paper, The Optimum Quantity of Money. Look into the next one. High frequency trades and algorithmic trades or algos are in the news recently. These pertain to stock exchanges. What is meant by high frequency trades? Trading of thousands of transactions in a fraction of a second. Trading of thousands of transactions in a fraction of a second are known as high frequency trades and algorithmic trades or algos. And recently, Securities and Exchange Board of India released a discussion paper on HFTs and algo trades. So, if someone talks about high frequency trades and algorithmic trades, that pertains to stock exchanges. Please don't forget. We are hearing about R&R in GST. GST is Goods and Services Tax. What is meant by R&R? R&R is revenue neutral rate. Revenue neutral rate is to be arrived at first. What is meant by revenue neutral rate? Revenue neutral rate is the rate maybe around 16% or so, and if that rate is introduced uniformly for all the goods, the existing revenue under indirect taxes will be maintained. That means so as to ensure existing level of taxes, the tax rate required to be kept as per goods and services tax is revenue neutral rate. And another important aspect is all the goods will not be taxed at revenue neutral rate. Some goods may be taxed more, some goods may be taxed less. Precious metals like gold may be taxed at 2%, and pharmaceuticals may be taxed at around 10 to 12% because they are essential for human life. Then some of the demerit goods like tobacco products may be charged at 30-40%, and most of the goods will be charged at the standard rate. Standard rate is the rate at which most of the goods will be taxed, and standard rate is expected to be around 18%. And recently government stated that revenue neutral rate is around 15.5 to 16%, and standard rate is expected to be around 18%, and all the details, these minute details will be worked out once the GST Council will be formed. And please don't forget, the GST Council is going to be headed by the Finance Minister. Government notified select provisions of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. Basically, this is to look at the insolvency resolution process for corporates, partnership firms, as well as individuals. So, this Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 will be applicable for all the categories, that is individuals, partnership firms, as well as corporates. Please don't forget. Kokrajhar is into the news recently. It is in Assam. Recently, 13 civilians were killed due to the suspected attack by NDFB Songbijit faction. Where is Kokrajhar? Kokrajhar is in Assam. Please look into this slide. And Kokrajhar district, please look into this slide. This has got a border with Bhutan. This has got a border with West Bengal. This is area in Assam having border with both Bhutan as well as West Bengal state of India. And clashes are taking place between Bodos and Adivasis as well as between Bodos and Muslims. Right? Look into the next one. 70 साल की आज़ादी ऐद करो कुर्बानी. This was kicked off from Bhavra in Alirajpur district of Madhya Pradesh by the Prime Minister. On August 9th, this was kicked off by the Prime Minister from Bhavra in Alirajpur district of Madhya Pradesh. Please look into this slide. And this is the birthplace of Chandrasekhar Azad. And recently government started celebrations of 70 years of independence, and at the same time government also started the 75th anniversary celebrations of a Quit India movement launched by Mahatma Gandhi in 1942 in Bombay. And in this connection, each union minister is visiting two places where nationalist leaders were born, and union ministers are visiting 150 places of historical importance. And I would like to tell you a few points. Theme song 70 साल की आज़ादी ऐद करो कुर्बानी was composed by Dr. Ghazal Srinivas. This is one point. Second point is, there is another significance is there. On August 9th, revolutionaries looted the train at Kakori railway station, and the revolutionaries only looted the money carried by the British officials but not from the public. And subsequently it became famous Kakori conspiracy case. So this Kakori train case took place on August 9th of 1925, which was famously known as Kakori conspiracy case in the history of modern India, and subsequently Chandrasekhar Azad shot himself when the British officials tried to catch him in Allahabad. Right, so August 9th has got history in the form of Kakori conspiracy case. Look into the next one. Name the state which launched Aam Aadmi bus service. The state we are talking about is Delhi. Issue of a special category status pertains to the state of Andhra Pradesh. And please listen to News Capsule if you want more about this. And Constitution 122nd Amendment Bill was passed by the Parliament. It is to be ratified by at least 50% of the state legislatures as per Article 368 of the Constitution. And there are three ways in which constitutional provisions can be amended. One way is with a simple majority. Second one is by special majority in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Third one is in addition to the ratification by Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha with the special majority, ratification by at least 50% of the state legislatures. When the issue involves the alteration of powers of the states, then ratification by 50% of the state legislatures is required. And in this case, state ratification is required as it involves changes in the features of fiscal federalism. And please don't forget, Assam is the first state to ratify GST and Bihar became the second state to ratify GST. These things please don't forget. Hallmarking guidelines for jewellery are given by Bureau of Indian Standards. If someone talks about hallmarking guidelines, they are for jewellery and these are given by Bureau of Indian Standards. They were given in the year 2000, but Centre has started taking them seriously only in recent times. Name the state government which launched Quit India 2, that is the Swaraj to Suraj movement, basically to get rid of social evils. The state we are talking about is Maharashtra, and please don't forget, on 8th August, Mahatma Gandhi gave a call of Quit India from Gwalior Tank Maidan in Bombay in the year 1942. Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Yojana, popularly known as the PMSSY, is primarily intended to provide tertiary care in health sector. You may ask, what is the difference between primary care, secondary care, tertiary care? Primary care is just going to the primary health center, which is normally situated in big villages as well as the small towns. One physician will be there, that is the primary health care. And secondary health care are the places, probably small towns, where facilities like X-rays, scans are available. And tertiary care is a super specialty which is normally available at present in big cities like metropolitan cities. So, government wants to give thrust to tertiary care. That means with a view to give thrust to super speciality in the country, this Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Yojana is intended. It was conceptualized in August 2003, basically to correct imbalance in tertiary health care. That's why under Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Yojana, all India Institutes of Medical Sciences are being announced, and at the same time it looks at upgrading existing medical colleges. Union Cabinet gave its approval for making suitable amendments in the central list of OBCs applicable to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. This is as per the recommendations of National Commission for Backward Classes. This National Commission for Backward Classes is the statutory body as per NCBC Act of 1993, basically to recommend for inclusion of any class of citizens as backward classes. This National Commission for Backward Classes will come into picture, and normally these recommendations are binding on the central government. Look into the next one. First Arab scientist to win the Nobel Prize, Ahmad Jawail. passed away recently. He was born in Egypt. He won Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1999 for his work in femtochemistry. National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority issued recently an order capping the prices of 24 essential drugs under Drugs Price Control Amendment Order 2016. And here two important points. NPPA is under the Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, that is the most important point. The second one is National List of Essential Medicines. What are essential? That is decided by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and this list is dynamic and is revised normally once in 3 years. So, if someone talks about National List of Essential Medicines, then Ministry of Health and Family Welfare will come into picture. If someone talks about capping the prices, then NPPA will come into picture. These things are very important. Name the athlete who tested positive for methandinone, a banned anabolic steroid. We are talking about Narsingh Yadav, who tested positive for methandinone. And at the same time, Inderjeet Singh, shot putter, he tested positive for androsterone. And please don't forget, Narsingh Yadav was banned by World Anti-Doping Agency for 4 years. And World Anti-Doping Agency also banned Maria Sharapova, who tested positive for meldonium for 2 years. These things please don't forget. Aleppo city is in the news recently. Name the country we are talking about. The country is Syria. Fight is going on between three parties. The president is supported by Iran and Russia. Opposition parties supported by NATO and Saudi Arabia and other Gulf countries. Then 1/4 of the territory is occupied and ruled by Islamic State. Under these circumstances, civilians are suffering badly, and please look into this slide. This is the city Aleppo, and two important cities in Syria, Damascus and Aleppo. At least 21 people died when a violent storm rips through capital Skopje. Name the country. This Skopje is the capital of Macedonia. There were 800 lightning strikes in just 2 hours. The currency is a Macedonian dinar. And please look into this slide. This is the location of Macedonia. And Macedonia is towards the southeastern part of Europe. And second important point is, it is one of the Balkan countries. We discussed in detail about Balkan Peninsula and Anatolian Peninsula when we discussed the issue of Turkey. Please listen to it. The agreement to establish Kudankulam nuclear power project was signed in 1988. Now, after 28 years, the first unit was dedicated to the nation, and the agreement was signed when Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister of the country and Mikhail Gorbachev was the President of Undivided Union of Soviet Socialist Republic in 1988. Look into the next one. Which of the following has chosen 6 firms to develop Mars habitats? NASA has recently chosen 6 firms. These companies will develop prototypes and concepts of deep space habitats for future manned mission to Mars. And these firms will concentrate on deep space habitats where humans will live and work independently for months or years at a time without depending on cargo supplies from Earth. Look into the next one. Name the country which launched high-resolution radar imaging satellite Gaofen-3. This Gaofen-3 was launched by China. It can take accurate pictures of the Earth. Look into the next one. NIA recently stated that Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Toiba is orchestrating unrest in Kashmir. And NIA is under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Please look into this slide. NIA is National Investigation Agency. It is under the Ministry of Home Affairs, and basically it acts as the Central Counter-Terrorism Law Enforcement Agency. Look into the next one. Coffee crop may be affected due to deficient rains in Malenadu or Malnad region. Name the state. We are talking about Karnataka. This Malenadu region is in Karnataka. Please look into this slide. Coffee is grown predominantly in this Malenadu region of Karnataka. Karnataka is the leading producer of coffee, and coffee is grown in Chikmagalur, Kodagu and Hassan districts of Karnataka. There are two varieties in coffee, Arabica variety and Robusta variety. And in recent times, this white stem borer disease affected Arabica. Please look into this slide. And please look into this slide. This is the Malenadu region. RBL Bank is going in for initial public offer. This is the private sector bank headquartered in Kolhapur. Nuclear power plant with 6 reactors is coming up at Kovada. Name the state. The state we are talking about is Andhra Pradesh. This Kovada is in Srikakulam district of Andhra Pradesh, and 6 reactors will come up, and NPCIL is the operator, and Westinghouse will establish these 6 reactors. And Westinghouse is the leading nuclear reactor company based in United States of America. Look into the next one. Anti-dumping duty on hot rolled flat steel products from 6 countries was imposed recently. It is imposed by the Ministry of Finance. And here for anti-dumping duty, recommendations are given by Directorate General of Anti-Dumping and Allied Duties. This is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. They give recommendations, and ultimately the duty is imposed by the Ministry of Finance. Please don't forget. Right friends, with this let us conclude questions and answers. Please do join for news capsules. Have a nice day. Thank you.